He can't get his own way when Congress doesn't do what he wants him to do. He throws a temper tantrum. Well, if you don't, give me a law I can sign, I'm just going to use my pen. Have a pen. We'll executive order. I'll write one out and then sign it. And then people have to follow it. And then I win. So, but he's not the only one. Hillary Clinton is out there stumping, trying to raise her numbers up. If I were president, I would use executive orders and executive action to ban guns and to introduce stronger gun restrictions in this country. That's what she's out there saying. If I were in the White House instead of that incompetent idiot Obama, I mean, the current wonderful Democratic president, I would institute through executive order. Because what difference does it make if it's executive order or if the Congress actually does it and sends me the bill? It doesn't make any difference at this point. That's what I'm saying. So according to Breitbart, White House Obama is preparing more executive actions on gun control. The White House confirmed that President Obama was preparing a series of executive actions on gun control to match his recent passion on the issue after the latest mass shooting in Oregon, which is now as we look and see more and more of it, or find out more and more, this kid was a loose cannon to begin with. Excuse me, and most possibly a Muslim, studying a radical convert. And it really didn't matter what kind of floor that he had underneath him, that he was going to use it to do his bidding, to use that ground as his sacred ground for killing. He could have been walking anywhere, but he wasn't walking where the ground led him to a place that wasn't a gun-free zone, did he? No. He chose the ground that led him to a gun-free zone where he could then do what he did, proceed to open fire on a bunch of people, killing 9. Oh, I don't even know how many people that he wounded. And yet we have an idiot in the White House who wants to try to take your right away from you to protect yourself. The White House confirmed that President Obama was preparing a series of executive actions on gun control to match his recent passion on the issue after the latest mass shootings in Oregon. It's always a Rahm Emanuel type of event. Never let a good crisis go to waste. And there are people that, maybe rightfully so, there are people out there that believe that the left, especially Obama, are orchestrating these types of events. And so that gives them leeway and excuses and reasoning behind the illegal activity that they proclaim needs activity on. And yet, it's a high priority and will continue to be until we start to see more progress on this issue in this town, says White House Secretary Josh Earnest, as he told reporters at the press briefing today. So let's confiscate the guns. Isn't it amazing how the left thinks that they can confiscate all of your guns? They can find them all, take them all, destroy them all, taken away from you, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of firearms in this country. And yet the administration thinks that they can handle that type of system And yet, we still have all this violence every time that they try to utilize. Look, some of the states where violent crime is the highest in this country have very restrictive gun ownership and gun carrying laws. Now, you got to wonder why that is. Because you're at the mercy of the criminal if you don't have a gun. And the criminals have guns. And the criminals are not using the standard background checks. And the criminals are not going to a firearms store or a gun store to buy their firearm. And a criminal isn't suspecting themselves to criminal investigation in such a way. It's not going to work by taking guns away from law-abiding citizens. Not by a long shot. But they know this anyway because it has nothing to do with your public safety. Nothing at all. Zero, zilch, nada. And there are a lot of people that are questioning Obama's motives behind this. Even Rush Limbaugh asked, I don't know if Rush Limbaugh carries a weapon or has, evidently Donald Trump has a permit, carry permit. I don't think Rush has ever said whether or not he has a permit to carry a gun. But he is definitely not out there trying to advocate for taking guns away from you and me, if we so choose and desire to own one. But even Rush was wondering why we are questioning the president's motives on guns. And a lot of people say, well, it's simply because it has to do with the government taking over. And Obama actually addressed some of those issues in a press conference about gun control. And I got to tell you, his responses were a little bit scary. I know some people are probably going to be out there saying, see, Rod, we told you, Rod, we told you, Rod. Didn't believe us, man, but yeah, he said it. See, he said it. Well, it's not so much how he said it as it is what he said. And he was referring to, some people saying that, at some point under Obama that, he was going to stop the elections and he was going to rule forever, and that there were other types of psychological things, if you will, to go along with what Obama wanted to do to mankind, for mankind. But liberals don't want to do anything for you or me. It's all about them. And when Obama says that, people think that he's going to try to take control of the government or not leave the White House when his time is up, it actually sent chills up my spine, because now he's addressing. Here's a man who's addressing some of the conspiracy theories that have been levied against him. And he is moving to do or take action that people said that he would do as he would start to move to take over. And so we have another year and 4 months of this guy? So who knows what he's capable of doing or what he is going to do. Unfortunately, we've got to hang on, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. But as Rush stated today, people are troubled by what this guy had to say. And they also realize that we have to be those on the Now, I'm not going to say pro-gun. See, you have to understand, it's not pro-gun, it's pro-Constitution. What part about that do they not get? It's pro-Constitution. Nobody says that you have to, well, look, we're not Switzerland. Nobody says that you have to have a gun. If you choose not to have one, then that's your prerogative, but you should not be standing in the way from everybody else, because most people, the vast majority of folks who have had exposure to guns, may even own them, do not commit a crime with a firearm. The vast majority of people don't commit a crime with a firearm. But those are the people that are going to be, you or I, who are totally law-abiding. We're the ones that are going to be affected and targeted, because we're also the ones that fully understand the Constitution and why Obama should not be allowed to get away with what he's trying to get away with. Don't doubt me on this, folks. I'm telling you that this is what he's trying to do. Is he really trying to take over? I don't know. I'm not really interested in finding out, other than getting the year of January 21st, 2016 here when we can hopefully inaugurate a brand new president that is conservative and Republican. By the way, did you know that Obama plans to transfer Gitmo detainees so he can close down Gitmo? Now, the reason why he wants to close down Gitmo, don't doubt me on this, folks. Do not doubt me on this. The reason he wants to close Gitmo, is simply so he can, fulfill one of Raul Castro's request of turning over that sliver of land to the Cubans, which is obviously would not be a good idea. It would be a terrible, 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 terrible idea. But what are you going to do if the president is going to issue an executive order? He's already issued all kinds of executive orders. We don't have a Congress who's willing to stand up to this guy and say, hold it, stop it, no, you can't do that, it is unconstitutional. We do not have, although we do have a court that has begun to start to rail against and push back Obama a little bit, and he's had temper tantrums over that kind of stuff recently. But how do you stop somebody who is fully bent on destruction and does not care how they are capable of doing it? Doesn't care, as long as they get their way. And Obama's looking to get his own way, whether we like it or not. Just because I'm the president, buck stops here. Because I'm the president. When I'm the president, I get to make final decisions. Because I'm the president. I'm El Presidente. And I could do whatever I want. All I got to do is just have a pen and write an executive order. And all I got to do is sign it. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because you're too weak. You think I'm weak. And you think Putin thinks I'm weak. You should see our Congress. They're far weaker than me. He's smug and arrogant about making fun of the people who believe in the Constitution. I say, just go out and buy yourself a gun and let Obama know that you're not going to have anything to do with any of his gun restricting legislation. ever.